This Pride Month, we celebrate the LGBTQ+ individuals whose contributions shape Falls Church. Their stories reflect a broader history of courage, advocacy, and the ongoing pursuit of equality and acceptance. As we commemorate the 250th anniversary of the United States, we honor the voices of LGBTQ+ community members and reflect on what Pride means in Falls Church today.
My name is Ethan, aka Avita Peroxide. Much of my journey began in theater and really enjoyed just kind of getting into makeup and hair and just all these fabulous things that come with putting and bringing a character to life. And around 2020 is when I decided to dabble into the realm or artistry of drag. It was a way for me to, as Ethan, express the more creative and colorful side that I didn't really get to do in my day-to-day life. Whatever it was that Ethan couldn't do, she could do.
I've always understood myself to be different, and I didn't know what kind of different for a long time. It's a process. It's such a process. By the time I was 17, I realized that I was not cis. I was the first trans student that a lot of my teachers had and a lot of the other students had ever known.
I grew up being involved in politics and government at a very young age. Immediately figured out how to get involved with the local Democratic committee here in town. And then when an opportunity arose first time around in 2008 for city council, ran for office, won, which was an exciting time. I didn't go out of my way to say, I'm Lawrence Webb and by the way, I'm gay and I'm running to be your city councilman. It was something that if someone asked, I'm more than happy to tell them. It initially it took a little getting comfortable with it because growing up in rural Virginia, and at the time I knew I was gay, but it was something that, particularly being Black and gay, was not something that really was talked about a lot. Being the first openly gay African American is something that I embrace because it has opened the door for other African Americans who may be interested in running for public office, that being gay does not stop you from being able to serve in your community.
Well, I moved to Falls Church in 1985, started the Falls Church News Press in 1990, so we're going on 36 years now. At the beginning, as much as I was a gay activist in my early days, and it was part of my legacy, part of my history, I didn't flaunt that when I came to Falls Church to start a newspaper. It's interesting that some of these issues of gay rights came up very early on. The student newspaper decided to run an ad for this group called SMILE, Sexual Minority Youth Assistance League. And it created a huge dust-up in this community. In those days, the dominant forces in Falls Church were these two very conservative churches. They were totally stunned when I took the editorial position in my newspaper in support of the students' decision to run that ad. And I said to myself, if I'm going to be authentic in support of these social issues, I have to be authentic in terms of myself as well. And I've never looked back.
I'm Margaret Nguyen. I am one of the owners of The Dark Unbound.
And I'm Annette Gum, the other owner.
As with anything, what do they say? If you can't find what you're looking for, then you should make it. The Dark Unbound is a new queer feminist bookstore in the city of Falls Church.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about safe spaces without starting to use all of the current jargon, but to me, it's a place where you could be unapologetically yourself and not feel judged and not feel hate.
Living and working in this area of Falls Church and Northern Virginia has shaped my experience as an LGBTQ person, in that moving here from a more conservative area felt like I had the space and ability to accept my own identity. So coming here and people being like, oh yeah, I'm bi, or maybe even I have two moms or whatever, it was much more available as a thing that one could be.
As I began to grow my drag career, I realized that Falls Church City was an area that didn't really have that much drag performance in that area. So Obviously bringing age-appropriate PG performances to the City Falls Church was of utmost importance for me. But what I really valued most was connecting with the local drag community and other artists, some of which have been performing for 20, 30, or even 40 years in the community.
What I think is really important about the store is building a community where we create that space for everyone, no matter who you are and what you're doing. You know, I'm a queer, bisexual, polyamorous, older, disabled woman. I want to, just be accepted for who I am. And the same with Margaret. And what we've talked about is we want to create the space that we didn't have as kids, and really be able to share that and share of ourselves.
Yeah, there's also a ton of LGBTQ-owned businesses and arts and culture and events and businesses that even if they aren't LGBTQ-owned, they're actual allies who hire us and host our events. I felt very safe coming to work here and being open about who I am.
We were looking at diversity as in who is represented in the stories that we are sharing at the Dark and Bound. So female voices, non-binary voices, other queer voices, gender minorities, not just in the stories, but also the authors of those books. All of these things are really important because it helps us realize that other people don't see the world the same way that we see the world. And so when you can step into a story or a perspective of someone else's view of the world, it just makes us better people.
Falls Church continues to make every effort to be a welcoming place to everyone. Taking on and being welcoming during the month of June of doing the Pride events, the presentation of the proclamation, those type of things. It still is very important that folks living in your community know that you are supportive and be who you are while you're in the community.
I started cutting hair because I would go get a haircut and it was not the haircut that I wanted. There's a specific thing that happens when you're trans and you're getting a haircut. They either get it or they don't. It's a way to communicate to other people, to each other, about our identities, and it's a form of self-expression that you never take off. I really admire the strength and bravery of parents and families of LGBTQ kids and trans kids specifically who are really being heavily targeted right now in terms of hateful rhetoric that they don't deserve because they're just kids. I usually get an expression of relief and gratitude from their parents. That means a lot to me as a parent, so I'm really happy to contribute back to my own community in that way.
Historically, history has been written by cis hetero white men by and for, with the perspective that that's really the only history that matters. And obviously we as a culture are starting to learn that that's not the only perspective in history that matters.
When we initially started doing our family drag lunch, which was essentially our story time for our family members here in the City of Falls Church, we did not have any protesters. And then over time, through visibility in the community, we started to receive protests. Much of what they were protesting was based on assumptions. And that was very disappointing. But the Falls Church City community rallied together, brought much support to my story times for my safety and for my audience members' safety. I was receiving bomb threats, not only to my place of work, but also my personal address. And my personal address had also been doxxed. So it really dimmed my light for a little bit. And I kept pushing and trying and doing my very best up until my point of career change, when I started to decide that education was no longer for me. And that is kind of what led to my decision to start phasing out my artistry, aka Avita, which we'll call retirement.
I think Falls Church still needs to do more. I think we need to create openly gay places. I think it is important that the community writ large gets behind proposals to actually create safe spaces. We're living in a time when the pushback the other way is really getting fierce, and it's not going to go away anytime really soon. And that's the point at which we need to stand up really strongly and assert what we stand for.
We're in this pivotal moment in our society where people are starting to recognize how important it is to have representation, to celebrate and not just don't ask, don't tell. And what we're hoping to do with the Dark Unbound is to make it part of who we are as a community, so that Pride is not just 1 month out of the year and one event at the park and one little parade that everybody shows up and waves flags for. That's nice. It's definitely an improvement over where we were 20, 30, 50 years ago, but it's not enough.
I do think the younger generation is in the halls of legislatures, city councils, Congress, can actually be a true part of the conversation.
I can't tell you how much the attitudes in Falls Church, the little city of Falls Church, have changed in the years since I founded this paper in 1991. I think this community has done a wonderful job. The leadership in Falls Church has done a terrific job in creating an environment that supports and reinforces diversity in all its forms in this community. It's really extraordinary.
There is opportunity for allies and more queer community members in the City of Falls Church to come together and share their stories and perspectives. But it is my hope that someday, somehow, we will overcome everything that's going on politically and come to an agreement peacefully, that we can express ourselves, share our opinions, and be in a mutually respected space. My number one thing that I said at many of my shows was always, be kind and be you. When you dim your own light, you are not only dimming yourself, but also you are taking an opportunity away from yourself and the community to be heard and seen.